back, ladies and gentlemen, with another All Wrestling review. Yeah, so, for those wondering, I don't need to do... Okay, for those who did not see the first part of the All Wrestling review, this is becoming a new series on my channel where I'm just going to be talking about all different kinds of wrestling. Basically, all promotions, if there's anything I'm interested in, and I will go over that. Since people tend to not like me getting upset about everything, or ranting, and because I really can't stand watching just WWE on its own nowadays, I feel like it's only fair that I watch different kinds of wrestling. Now, obviously, I don't watch it all every day. Like, if there's anything I'm interested in, I will watch it. Doesn't mean I will do it right away. But, overall, I waited until AEW Dynamite concluded to make this video. I wasn't going to wait a whole week and then go from this all the way to this. So, maybe SmackDown will be its own thing, or we'll see. But also, there's Rampage, so maybe Rampage might have something. So, let's dive into it, shall we? We're going to be kicking things off, once again, with Stardom. Anna Jay had another match that actually happened a couple of days after her first one. There was a match she had. There was the first match she had that I talked about in my previous video, where she won. Where she won that match, and it was the main event of the card, and it was the main event of the show. And so, a couple of days later, she had another match against a girl named Starlight. And I will say the venues that Stardom used looked like a school gym. Looked like something they go to a school gym. But anyway, Anna Jay had another match against a girl named Starlight in the Blue A block. It kind of reminds me of like that tournament that AEW had with for the Continental Classic. They had where like there's like a few buys, like a few wrestlers will have a few, like there's one buy for each team. So Anna Jay had another match against a girl named Starlight, and that match was a lot longer and more competitive. The first one that Anna had was competitive, but it felt a bit short. This one was a bit longer and more competitive. This one, unfortunately, Anna did not win, but overall, I will say, she did great. She did very good in this match, and she looked great, and looked strong in defeat. I will say this, the submission she gave up to, her shoulder was bending in such a way, it made me want to cringe, like, gee whiz, like, I can't blame her for giving up. I can't blame her for giving up. If my body was bending the way that Starlight was bending Anna, the way Starlight was bending Anna, I don't really blame her for giving up. Like, seriously. Stardom's submissions are very brutal, I will say that. Nothing on TNA, because TNA hasn't happened yet, but so TNA will be in the other review video alongside with SmackDown and Rampage if there's anything on there, and also maybe Stardom if there's any matches along there. So as for Monday Night Raw, there's not really a whole lot I can really talk about. I don't really want to talk about Raw because Raw didn't really have a whole lot. If I have to really pick out key moments, if I have to pick out key moments that I looked at from Raw and say, yes, I liked this, and I liked this, and I liked this, I probably would say Randy's segment with Gunther was alright. Randy dropping him with an RKO after Gunther was calling his family a failures. Bronson Reed going on another tsunami rampage by brutalizing The Miz and R-Truth, which that was entertaining as all hell. Because that was entertaining as all hell. And, yeah, that's really it. I can't really find anything else. I'm kind of over the CM Punk Drew rivalry. Yes, it's good. Yes, it's good, but I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of ready for it to end. And the only other maybe good thing is maybe the New Day will finally be breaking up, because they continuously doing this angle with Karrion Kross, telling Xavier Kofi doesn't care about him, or he keeps riding in his coattails. The New Day breaking up is definitely going to be a big story when they do eventually break up. It's definitely going to be a big deal when they do eventually break up. So, we'll see what goes on there. Again, 3-hour show, only one women's match on the show, and that was, you know, the stupid faction war stuff that I don't really care all that much about. And again, I would say I like Rhea and Liv's feud, but unfortunately, Dominic Mysterio is a part of it. Dominic Mysterio is involved in it. I can't take it seriously. I can't take this whole feud seriously, because Dominic Mysterio has to be the center focus of everything. And I guess the other good thing about Raw was Ivy Nile turning heel and joining American Made, Chad Gable's new faction, which I think, you know, is the right decision, and it will get her TV time. That's really the only positive I can see. Like, it'll get Ivy Nile on TV, which is something we really need. You know, new people on TV, some new fresh faces. Some new fresh faces for people to see, instead of seeing the same damn people every week. So, yeah, that's really all I can say. Sure, Braun and Sammy was a fine match, but I've seen that match enough now. It's time to move on from Breakker and Sami Zayn having their fair share of matches. As for NXT, now, as I said, I would only talk about NXT if there was anything on there that I would bring up, if there's anything that I'm interested in, or anything along those lines. And surprisingly, yeah, there are a few things I can talk about on NXT. TNA's Joe Hendry is now contesting for the NXT Championship, which I don't know how I feel about. Well, if Jordan Grace can do it, then I guess Joe Hendry can technically do it too. Jordan Grace did, so Joe Hendry can as well. But I find it weird that WWE is a guy who's not even signed by the company. They're putting all their focus on him, which is pretty crazy. They had Wes Lee explain his actions to why he turned on his longtime best pal, which, you know, not a bad promo. You know, I think, you know, not a bad promo from Wes Lee and all that. And one of my gripes on NXT is, holy shit, they never let Tatum Paxley win. Like, I'm a big fan of Tatum Paxley. I really like her. Yes, I know, you've probably heard me in the past say, I'm never the fan of the dark, spooky characters, or the girls that have that kind of character. But Tatum Paxley's different. I think she plays it to perfection. She plays it really well. She just wants a friend. You know, she just wants a friend. That is her words. And, yeah, like, I don't get why they never let Tatum Paxley win. Like, I swear, like, does Shawn Michaels hate this girl or something? Every single time I've seen her, she's always on the losing end. She's always on the losing end of, like, every match I've seen. She's probably got, like, the worst win-loss record out of everyone in NXT. And one of my other big complaints about NXT's, one other thing that NXT did, this is a bit of a complaint because I don't really like it all that much, is that Ava announced a gauntlet eliminator for Roxanne's next opponent at No Mercy, and the lineup was god-awful. Kendall Gray, though I like her, Carmen Petrovic, who I'm a big fan of, Ren Sinclair, and just a lot of low-tier women. Just a lot of bottom-tier women that no one believes is either A, worthy of a title match against Roxanne, or people know for a fact they're not going to beat Roxanne. Why couldn't they be, like, you've signed Julia and Stephanie Vacula, and you're just doing nothing with them. I know Cora Jade's on her way back, but this Gauntlet Eliminator just looks god-awful, because there's barely anybody, there's no one on there that people can point out and say, yes, this person can beat Roxanne. That's my biggest complaint about the Gauntlet Eliminator. That there's no one there that the fans truly buy into as threats to Roxanne's title reign. And I feel like they're just... I feel like WWE is just chugging along until Julia comes. That's how I feel. I feel like that's what they're doing. They're just chugging until... They're just chugging along. They're just chugging along until Julia eventually debuts, and I think that's kind of lazy. It's lazy booking, in my opinion. Just lazy ass booking until Julia comes, and I think that's a bit lazy in my opinion. And the big main event is that Andre Chase and Ridge Holland became the NXT Tag Team Champions, dethroning Axiom and Nathan Fraser. And my boy Duke Hudson is in that group, and though I am happy for Chase U, one of the things that I've been hearing so much about, and look, I've got nothing against Ridge Holland. Absolutely nothing. I think he gets a lot of flack. I think he gets a lot of flack and a lot of unkinda deserved hate. For some reason, Ridge Holland is in the category that fans just straight up hate the guy for just existing. Like, people are still going on about him injuring Big E. You know, they're still going on about him injuring Big E and all that stuff. Like, come on, guys. That was several years ago by now. Like, what? 2 years ago now? Wasn't that like, what, 2 years ago now? 3 years ago? We're still gonna prattle on about that? We still gotta prattle on about something that happened several years ago? This was the same shit that happened with Mercedes when she accidentally ended Soraya's career, where all people did was talk about how reckless Soraya was. Like, and Soraya showed no ill will towards Mercedes. She knew it was an accident. Even Big E holds no grudges against Ridge Holland. Big E holds no grudge against Ridge. Like, are you people serious? You're just gonna hold on to this grudge for years? Oh, he took away the most entertaining wrestler of all time. I can't forgive him for that. Okay, well, what if he comes back then? What if Big E gets cleared? You gonna forgive him then? Are you gonna forgive him when Big E eventually comes back? And if Big E can't come back, he can't come back. It's not on Ridge. It's not his fault. It's not Ridge's fault. Fans just continue to hold on to these grudges, and it's just stupid. Move on, please. Get over it. Get over it. Move on. Is that what your miserable lives have to be? Hate on one particular person just because they did one bad thing? Yes, I know Ridge Holland has history of injuring opponents, but so did Nia, and everyone ragged on Nia. But now now everyone are massive fans of Nia Jax. Now we've got a Nia Jax fan club going on. Nia Jax is the same person she was the last time she was there. I sense no difference in Nia Jax. It's ridiculous. Please move on. Can we grow up and start acting our age instead of being pitiful crybabies over something that happened years ago? But yes, I am happy for Ridge. But of course, people looked at this as, oh, how dare WWE reward a dangerous wrestler? He injured Big E and this company is rewarding him. Idiots. Idiots. They've moved on. Ridge has moved on. Now it's time for you guys to move on too. Ridge is not a bad wrestler. He's not a terrible wrestler. He's actually alright. He's a solid worker. Just give the guy a break. Just give the guy a break. Seriously. So that's really all I can really give on NXT. That's really all I can give to you guys on NXT. Now, I would talk about Ring of Honor. So some people may wonder, oh, okay, what would I talk about Ring of Honor? There's no way for me to access it. There's no way for me to access Ring of Honor. I don't think there really is a way. Maybe they have a YouTube channel, and maybe I could just scroll on their YouTube thing in case. But, yeah, there's really... But, yeah, at the moment, I don't think there's going to be any Ring of Honor stuff. Anyway, let's move on. And we're going to be talking about All Elite Wrestling now. We're going to talk about AEW. And there's a few things on AEW I want to talk about, and that's three things. And that's three things. On Collision, there was a match between Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo. It feels like Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa are kind of doing the Sheamus and Cesaro, where they're doing like, it feels like they're doing like a best out of 7 series. Because Deonna Purrazzo had a couple of wins over, because they're having these two fight each other. Maybe not every week, but every few weeks. Like, they wrestled once on Rampage. They've mainly been wrestling on Collision. So, it feels like they're doing a best out of 7 series, because Deonna had a couple of wins, and now Thunder Rosa's gotten a couple of wins. Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo beat the hell out of each other so badly that both of them were busted open. They were both busted open with blood and all that stuff. Really good stuff. And they had a really fun match. So, yeah. That's the kind of stuff I want to see from the women's division. Good wrestling and good storytelling. Not this faction war garbage that I'm seeing on WWE. And this shit with Rhea Ripley and Liv. Like, come on. Like, let's be real here. If Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley had a one-on-one match against each other, one-on-one, with no interferences, if you banned outside interferences, Rhea would destroy her. Rhea would destroy Liv. Rhea would absolutely destroy Liv. And people are complaining about how Liv is acting like a coward. Oh, she's running away all the time. And I find it ironic. The irony that the person that I saw making fun of Mercedes Moné running away from Britt Baker on an episode of Dynamite, the person that had the profile pic coincidentally had a Liv Morgan picture on it. And now, and the irony. Oh, the irony. Oh, the irony. Liv Morgan fans are now whinging and crying about how Liv Morgan is being booked like a scaredy champion, a chicken shit heel. What's happened to the Liv Morgan that I liked, that jumped off scaffoldings and put people through tables? This isn't the Liv Morgan that I was a fan of. Yeah, it's not so funny, is it? It's not so funny when it's the other way around, is it? That's what heels do. They run. They're chicken shit heels. That's what they're supposed to do. And that's what Mercedes did. Chicken shit heels are meant to run away from their arch rivals. They're supposed to be cowards. That's what gets them their heel heat. Stupid ads, man. Stupid ads, man. That's what gets them their heel heat. What? Do you think them standing their ground and running and not running away gives them running away gives them their heel heat? Stupid, man. Stupid. But anyway, but anyway, that was a few weeks ago. But anyway, that was before I did all this. But my point is that I find it funny that a Liv Morgan fan was mocking Mercedes for running away, but now Liv Morgan is doing the exact same thing, and Liv Morgan fans are crying themselves about Liv Morgan's booking. Give me a break. The irony, the absolute irony of it. And speaking of Mercedes, she had a match with Shida, and it was a fantastic match. It was a fantastic match, and I really did enjoy it. Camille, her little bodyguard, helped Mercedes win. And Mercedes planted Shida with a moneymaker to score the win, and the crowd really were into it. Britt Baker then attempted to get the lockjaw, or whatever she calls it, on Mercedes, but her bodyguard saved, her enforcer, her little bodyguard, Camille, saved Mercedes from being put in the submission. So, Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné has got so much potential of being a really good match. It's got so much potential to be a great match. And the final thing on AEW that I'm going to be talking about is Mariah May. She cut like a video vignette, it's like a video package vignette of her talking about Toni Storm and how they're both going to die. And but Mariah said that she will be leaving with the Women's Championship after she's done with Toni Storm. And as you guys know, I love Toni Storm, but I do think Mariah May should absolutely win at All In. I definitely do think they should have Mariah May win at All In, because I think Mariah May, because God forbid, I don't want to hear the Mariah May fans having another cry like they did when Saraya beat her that one time, and everyone cried themselves to sleep about it. So overall, that is my All Wrestling review. I definitely enjoyed a lot of the stuff that I saw, but on WWE's side, they've obviously, as we all know, WWE's still got a lot of work to do on their side of things, because obviously I'm not on full faith with them right now. So thank you all for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all down the road. See you then.